Hello everyone, I'm Silverraptor and welcome back to Warno. It's been quite a while since I last played this, yes I know. But I'm finally back into it. And with this game, I just ran into someone, a friend on the Discord server by Deton. I was a friend, acquaintance. And we decided we're both still relatively new to the game, so we decided to try it out. He was playing with the Division Parachutist, a French airborne division, and I am playing with the Force Marschützen division. A division I actually quite like because they have a mix of both airborne and non-airborne units, as I am distributed my troops out to go get to the front line. The longest part of me setting up for the game is knowing which troops there are and where to go where. So the setup is the hardest time. Now I have the MiG-21 BIS here, and I have this in my deck mainly because it's two air-to-air missiles. Both can target helicopters, and they can both fire the helicopter at the same time in one pass. However, I've tried to engage this Gazelle 2 times, and finally on the 3rd time he finally manages to engage with the missile. So I had a hard time actually engaging with that Gazelle at the start. Now at the start of this game, I have my Mi-24Ds with the rocket pods and the anti-air missiles because I thought he was going to start with a lot of helicopters at the start. Engage with their rocket pods and just try to set up the enemy and push them back. And while I set up into this position here, I've got the self-propelled gun and the machine gun set here. I've got the Mentis team for anti-tank support as well as a sniper squad that's going to be engaging their sniper squad as well. And so far, the center is working out. My Mi-24D actually survived against these Pamellas, which are basically mistrals on the back of a truck. My Mi-2 gets taken out. The Mirage almost takes out my Mi-24D. Wow, it's practically almost dead. And he's going to have to fall back. So both my Mi-24D AAs are out of the fight, but they did suppress the enemy a bit, suppress Deton's troops as I went to go and push forward. So yeah. Explosive opening. I managed to get here, but just barely. My troops that were sent here were destroyed, so I am bringing in reinforcements. And we are both kind of... I'm an experienced player from Wargame. I'm still trying to get used to all of the Warno stuff and everything. And he's generally a newer player to Warno as far as I understand, but he's played it a little bit longer than I have. So we're just doing our best to just try to... push each other out. Now, I didn't actually bring a CV right away for Bravo, which is the center sector here. And I am not going to be bringing a CV for quite a while because I didn't quite realize that just how much of the points was because I'm just focused on trying to secure a good position. So my Jaeger squads are actually gaining the Legion's Paras, but the Jaegers have low cohesion down to the last 2 men. I'm like, nope, that's not going to do. I'm going to swap them out for these Sprentoshers. They can engage with their M16s and M60s because these are in fact a false flag unit, and hopefully they can push back these Legion Paras that are trying to push onto here while I wait for my reinforcements to come. Now I have a pretty good line. I have quite a bit of AA, and that is because he is the Parachutist division, which implies kind of airborne and lots of helicopters and planes. So I just kind of took that into account. I've got a TL-55, which I actually quite like in this version. The fact that its main gun has a little bit of HE, so it can actually engage infantry. It's not just the flamethrower. It gives a little bit more of a reach. It's a good, cheap tank to try to control an area. A Hot 2's coming in. I'm still trying to get used to this blinking doesn't mean your units are hidden. It just means that they're in cover. They're taking like extra defensive fire, but it's just I wish they had it. So my Strela here was taken out by some unit here, RPG. But this other one I'm going to be moving up to try to engage the Hot 2. And the Hot 2 was only having 4 HP. Just one of these missiles, if they manage to score a hit onto the Hot 2, it will be able to take it out. And it turns out I actually outranged the Hot due to the fact that I'm firing and he is not even return firing with his Hot missile. So after 3 shots, the 3rd one finally hits and it has taken him out. The Sprentoshers here, they managed to take out a couple of the Legion Powers, but they have lost 3 of their men when it started that engagement. So they're not actually coming out on front. That makes sense. I think the Legion Powers are in fact well, they're shock trained. I thought they were elite trained instead. But anyways, finally, the long drive, my infantry units have finally shown up. More Sposh-Tangers are engaged against the Sapeurs, but the Flamethrower Regiment, I'm not dare bring them any closer because I don't want to get them close to boost that Flamethrower. So, Machutsen are going to be moving off into the forest here, while I'm going to be using the Su-22 to bomb those Flamethrowers. That would be the biggest threat to my infantry. Now my infantry can move up unimpeded. Looks like one of my DMPs died to the para. Looks like the other one died to the other para as well, so I'm not doing quite as well. They've got Mirage 2000 over here, but my Eaglets go fire overhead. Does quite a bit of damage. He's got out of the commission. He's going to have to hold it back there. The Gazelle Cannon moves up, and the Spush-Tosher are trying to hold back the cannon as best they can with their M60. But they might actually do it. They're out of M16 ammo. Wow. The Gazelle Cannon stun is actually taking quite a bit of damage from it. So the last man is just firing away with that M60. But then they bring in a Lynx. That will be enough to actually take them out. Meanwhile, the Machutsen and Springtosher overwhelmed completely with the help of the TO-55 and the Flamethrower on it to take out those shock forces and able to push forward. And I'm going to take advantage because I don't expect it to actually have a bottom line. I expected it to be harder for my troops to get through, so I actually brought a couple of machine guns. But seeing that is taken out, I'm going to actually put my machine guns in defensive position and actually create a front line. Gazelle Cannon is actually firing at my TO-55, takes them out. Jaguar is going to be dropping some napalm right on top of my Spectosher, but they're actually going to be just running forward and trying to get them into range of that satchel charge, see if they can kill that clear, as well as take those forests right for extra recon. Machine gun actually gets in, and they actually managed to kill the guy before the Spectosher actually had to use they didn't use the satchel charge. So, anyways, my infantry are taking quite a bit of hit from the cannon and the Lynx, and I think we have to hold them back as much as possible. The Spush-Talker take quite a bit of damage from the ERC-90s, this Sage. So they are actually repositioned themselves so that they're no longer actually in the line of sight of these troops. But yeah, I am continuing to reinforce my line. The Mirage 2000C sees my Mi-24, does one pass, and I managed to clip it with the Strela. I was moving my Mi-24D to see if I could get that Gazelle Cannon out of here, but it's already damaged. So back to my supply unit here. Now I actually have a FOB in this deck. I just actually forgot to deploy it at the start. I bring in a MiG-21 BIS. It gets chased down by the Mirage F1C, but I do have a MiG-29 to go and engage. They did quite direct engagement there. Mirage flies over. It's actually higher than my Strela 10M can actually engage, so I actually learned that the elevation over is better here than Wargame Red Dragon. So that was something that I learned in this battle. And I'm just trying to get used to everything. My Conquerors are actually out of missiles. They've been holding it out against the infantry. We have machine guns and the self-propelled gun, the SPG-90. Not the self-propelled gun, the recoilless rifle, locking this down, ready to engage. Igla fires, manages to take out the Gazelle Cannon that was trying to recon coming forward. And I was originally trying to reinforce here, but why did my supply truck go in there? Oh yeah, my supply truck was originally going there to supply the troops. That's how long it took. They died, and now it's finally showing up, and then I'm realizing, wait a minute, they're not there. You get back here, you silly. So, yeah, everything is just kind of stationary. My command vehicle finally shows up. Don't think I realized right away that my command unit is here to try to neutralize. He's almost at 900 points because he's had this sector for so long. Uncontested, but bringing up a T-55A. I didn't know which T-55s have smoke and which don't have smoke, so I was trying to figure out which ones it has. And also and so did my enemy, but I asked him, we were in a voice chat together, what the smoke button was, and we both thought it was G. Turned out it was not G. That's actually reverse. So, yep, no one actually uses smoke in this game, mainly because we forgot the button to use it. So, my finally capture and neutralize his advantage at 920 points ahead. I've got a lot of catching up to do. So my units, I called in quite a while. Here they are, the slow track units, T-55s and BMP-1s with infantry in here, getting ready to push up against this flank. I tried to engage that Pamela, but apparently he had a Milan that actually hit something for once and took that out. I looked and I thought that he'd be pretty dug in with all the ERCs, that it would be kind of hard to try to trundle forward against the enemy, especially since I lost this. I don't have any like recon that he might be planning some kind of flank. So I actually want to secure this first primarily, and then see if I can push my advantage and swing around the flank of a properly dug in defensive position. So my troops are gathering here for a flank from the right. And in the meantime, I just want to make sure I have everything all positioned up and secured. Like, I'm moving my supply truck that had just resupplied the Strela over here to resupply the Conkers. The recoilless rifle was down. There's only 3 shots left, so it's a good thing I'm setting this in. And my machine gun, I still have ammo, but it's good to top them up. And my 24D is just staying back on standby in case the Gazelle Hots move forward. And it's just kind of static game at the moment. So I can see that they've got the Pamelas are out, and I think I brought in an artillery piece to try to go and target them. I'm still modifying the deck, so I have the lesser artillery piece, the Gwodika. There's another artillery piece that has longer range, higher HE value, and the rate of fire of 4. But I brought these guys in because I brought 3 of them, and I was trying to figure it out. Whoops. And yeah, I had 2 Smirches in this deck, but as I played this, I realized I actually only really need 1. And as long as I don't lose it, it should be good. And so I've since modified the deck a little bit since then, but not by much. And I also need to remember to bring in my fob. Because that was, not bringing in the fob was definitely an oops. But I actually made it work with just the 1 Smirch and a couple of artillery pieces and all the supply trucks that I just brought in normally. I was able to keep my entire line supplied until like the last minute of this game is when I actually ran out of supplies completely. But by then the game about ready to end. But I can't rely on that luck always in the future, so bring in a pop at least to resupply your supply units. So I targeted the 1 Pamela, it escaped. Targeted the other one, it got hit. It's going to be turned and running, and it escaped as well. So at least I made the AA move. He's moving a Mistral over as I am still accumulating my forces here. I think I have more coming in. Not quite yet. I'm bringing in a Smirch because I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know a lot of stuff. The cluster doesn't really take out helicopters if they're flying in the air. The cluster happens to explode just below the helicopter flying point. So I kept trying to use this Smirch to cluster down the Gazelle, see if I could try to take them out that way. I moved up an Mi-24D. It took a hit again by a Mistral, so it's going to have to fly on back. The ECM on this thing is none. Okay, so that was just a lucky missed shot right there. I'm moving up this SPW-70. I'm going to move it down to this road. And then I'm going to charge it straight up down here just to see what shoots back at it so I know what to properly prepare for. And in terms of like preparing my reinforcements, as I am starting to bring in more troops for this right flank that I am preparing. The ERC Sagway are moving back, and that was what I was concerned about. I saw them move in, and now that they're moving out, I say, huh, so he's actually weakening his defenses. That's good to know. I have the Metes to take care of them. With 17 AP, the ERCs don't actually have any armor, and I actually see them kind of leave the sector, and I'm just like, what are you planning? Like, well, why are you retreating them all the way back there, where they're not really in the fight? I was kind of confused by that, but I'm just like, all right, maybe I can make something work from this. My Smirch, I gave an order, and it's driving all the way back here to be within the minimum firing range. So Smirch has a large minimum firing range. I wasn't expecting it to be that much. So here goes my SPW-70 is moving down the road. I am now beginning my offensive with it, using it to spot, to see what shoots back. So far nothing, and I'm getting very encouraged by this. I have the Strela 10M ready. I've got the BMP-1s with the infantry still inside, as well as the truck. And the ERC-90 is actually pushing up to engage the SPW-70. Seeing that, I moved the Strela 10M kind of to the back of the formation, or at least, yes, off to the side in the forest, so it doesn't directly hit the ERC. My BMP-1s are going to be moving over to the side and dropping off the infantry to engage the Mistrals, which are only there. There's no anti-tank whatsoever. That's actually very good. So the Mistrals immediately were taken out. He's bringing in a plane immediately. But my Cubs are now in position, as well as the Strela and even the Mi-24T are engaging with its infrared, and that is the Jaguar cluster is destroyed. And I think the cluster actually generally missed the fight, or at least he didn't get the bomb dropped off. And the T-55s, while taking quite a bit of losses, actually managed to take out the ERCs. But at close range, the ERCs will directly hit. The Jaegers are able to take them out with their RPGs that are set forward, quickly getting them into the buildings, while the mod shoots and also engaging with those same RPGs. And we managed to take out a bunch of the ERCs with the infantry, and now moving up to BMP-1s with their Maliukas and such to see if there's anything else that needs to clear out. So I am positively optimistic. I finally managed to get my foothold in here yet again, and now I just need to get secure the forest line. And once I have this, then I can prepare for another proper flank attack into the right. I did lose quite a bit of my T-55s there on the right. I'm bringing up another couple of T-55s are going to kind of guard here. This guy's going to go here. Now this guy knew he had smoke, but this is when I tried to use the smoke, and when I lost him, is when I learned I forgot what the smoke button was. It's been too long. The Jaguar tried to napalm my infantry, but I already moved them out of the forest because I was trying to clear this out first, because I didn't expect it to have too much infantry. I wanted everything completely gone. So in so doing, tried to make sure that there was no enemy here, I actually saved my infantry from a death by napalm. So that was actually very good for me. I had some other units that are still stationed here, forgotten about for a bit, but I will remember about them shortly. So now that they're firing back and the ERCs are back, but they're moving here, I'm moving my Machutsen and Jaegers back into this forest, back from the forest line, so they're not immediately shot at. My Strela 10M trying to move so I can try to see if I can get this Gazelle cannon. I'm trying to geometry this with the trees out of the way. Finally get into firing range. One missile fires, the other missile fires, and the second one does hit the Gazelle cannon. And now without the missiles, I am withdrawing it back. The units that were stationed in the back are now moving forward themselves, and my Smirch is indeed firing. I was firing here because I saw the ERCs landed here, so I was trying to see if I could take them out here. So we'll see at the end what the Smirch actually killed. I do fire it quite a bit in this game. I was counting on the fact that being airborne, a lot of his stuff would be lightly armored, so all the vehicles that are caught by the cluster would be destroyed. So that's actually pretty cool, the graphics of this game. Here comes my reinforcements finally coming up, the BMP-1s and the UAZ. Again, trying to go and secure this position. Waiting for a supply truck also to replenish this Strela 10M. This one is actually basically out of supply, so that's not going to help anyone. And he hasn't really done any push into this. Strela 10M is firing against the Hot 2, which is firing its missile at it. 4 missiles fired, 4 missiles missed, and it is being shot at by whatever's in that forest line. Strela 10M is going to try to retreat back, but I don't think he's actually going to survive because something did shoot at it. Yep, did get taken out. Met his team fire, but he did deploy smoke. So he did remember how to do smoke, but maybe he just clicked right here on the right here. Artillery's going up against the ERC again. Just trying to make the best use of any exposed troop to try to take him out. He didn't actually use too much artillery this game, and I think that's kind of what saved me. That I was able to use artillery without too much of retaliation. Hot 2 is kind of in position to hold back my infantry. I had Panzerjägers because I expected that I might need Panzerjägers to take out any units in this forest, any vehicles. The Panzerjägers can fire 2 RPGs at once, so they're actually pretty good. I'm again moving up the Mi-24D. Once again, my Strela 10M actually still out of ammunition, but the supply truck is coming up. Mi-24D is trying to get in this range of the R-60 infrared missiles, still out of range, so just need to move it up by giving it the attack order. Smirch is again going to be targeting here because that's where I saw the ERC go in, so I imagine that there might be vehicles in there. Mirage once again shows up and does another pass that almost takes out my Mi-24D. But I bring in my 2 air superiority fighters in case he tried to go back for another pass. My Mi-24D does actually get taken out by some kind of ground unit down below, probably a Mistral or something. And it was tried to bait me out with the air superiority fighters, but I'm actually going to stay into the fight, trying to bring him into over my AA net with the Cubs, take out one of the Mirages, and engage the Mirage with my other MiG-29 as the AA is trying to fire up, and everything gets out. So, I did lose 2 planes for the price of 1, but now that the air superiority are out, I'm bringing another MiG-21 BIS to do 1 pass on the Gazelle, kill it, get behind where the expected air defense is, and then I initiate the evacuate order in order to get across. And that's why I see he has a bunch of helicopters here, so I knew I need to be a little more wary of the air defenses over here. And it actually gets shot down. Okay. That was not ideal. I see that there's a Milan here. It's going to be starting to get the artillery treatment as my troops are all unloaded. Jaegers, Mott-Schützen, and other infantry are now beginning to move forward. And I have a whole bunch of tanks, a bunch of TO-55s and T-55As, as well as a command tank to vent them all up. Strela 10M gets taken out by that Milan. That is unfortunate, but he does eventually die from the fire over here. I'm leading with my infantry to try to reveal any enemy position that might have revealed themselves. I have a MiG-21 also getting ready on standby if I need to take out any helicopters really quickly, because I did see that I lost my AA here. The good thing about the MiG-21 is that it is actually quite a cheap plane, so don't have to worry too much about losing it. So again, just flying overhead, finally revealing the enemy forces. Engaging them. He smokes out with his vehicle, but his flamethrowers actually managed to get into range, but with enough firepower, hope to bring them down before they can put too much flamethrower down. And my TO-55 also engages with its flamethrower to push them. So now that my infantry are actually basically getting into this forest line, the hard part's done. Now it's just clearing it out. It's actually open for my tanks to actually move over to the left. I'm going to get to this corner and then try to sweep down back to look for a CV. My MiG-21 took a hit from their Mistral AA as I bring up the MiG-29 in case he tries to bring forward any bombers to try to stop my push, because I knew that he's done that in the past. As my tanks move forward, engaging, managing to find the target. As the Milan does miss, that does die. The Jaguar does come in, and my MiG-21 did unfortunately die. The Jaguar does escape, but it does drop in a bomb because I saw the infantry that he had were trying to run away, so I dropped a possible retreat path if my infantry tried to push forward. Losing the MiG-21s are not the biggest deal with me. They're just mainly helicopter hunters and to absorb fire. He brings in the napalm, but my infantry have moved way too fast, and once again he misses completely with that, and it takes a hit from my Cubs and infrared, so it is also out of position. And then I fire my MI2 to try to help spot for them and find the infantry. He uses the Gazelle Hot to take out my command tank, which was smart because that reduces the veterancy of all these. But these guys are basically sacrificial. They have one goal, and the goal is kill the command, finally get rid of this points advantage because I need to get points on the board of this game. So moving forward, the tanks move up, engaging with machine guns, main cannon, and the enemy infantry CV finally goes down. And finally, the points advantage is to me, and we can now begin ticking. It's simultaneously moving up the infantry and my machine gun nest up, try to re-secure that position to make it harder for him to try to take it over. Cluster bombs coming in, successfully get directly on target, take out some of my T-55s, but they carry the wrath on my AA. I was Estrella 10M and Cub able to take that out as my infantry have moved forward and trying to stop some Sapirs from trying to retake this forest. Even my Panzerjägers are engaging with their AK-47s. And yeah, I basically secured this line here and most of the sector. Reasonably, it's like this sector this part right here, he still has somewhat control of, but I can slowly kind of squeeze my way forward to keep him from regaining this sector, and that was my hope. I do see that he is finally starting to bring in artillery, so I do need to be concerned about that as I am bringing reinforcements. The artillery is actually being dropped onto where my infantry are right here. So that's actually kind of smart on his regard. He's got a bunch of Gazelle Hot 2s, but I don't have actually any vehicles here. I don't think. Yeah, I don't have any actual vehicles here, so those Hot 2s won't actually do any good as I'm finally moving back my infantry. Or do I have? I have one. I have this BMP-1 recon here. So this is allowing me to have my Smirch and my artillery immediately try to start to do counter battery operations. He has the VLRA nearby. And I think these are towed artillery pieces. I don't know if Cluster would actually kill them, but I was going to try to take them out, as well as artillery pieces I knew would also try to take them out, and I did get one of the artillery pieces. I'm getting another push as Mott shoots in the cross. See, that's not very much is shooting at me. Engage some Mistral Paras, so if I can take these guys out before the Legion Paras get there, that would be good. Moving up my recoilless rifle, which is down to the last guy, and the machine gun team to see if I can try to help out. So the Mott shoots are going to have to go toe-to-toe with all of these infantry, and I try to figure out how to support them. And I move all my tanks back. They actually run out of fuel here. So, yeah. Also, this was all the last of my tanks. I don't have any more tanks in this game. And yeah, the best tanks you get in this are the T-55, but they're not too bad. They're not like the amazing super heavies. He brings a cluster, manages to take on another T-55, but at the cost of his own life. So my air defense is now too strong to fly into. Machine gun finally gets into position and now begins opening fire against the Legionnaires. They're engaging my two Mott shoots in squad. One is almost dead, taking most of the brunt of the forest, but now with the Mistrals gone and the backup by the PKM, the Legionnaires are now starting to get taken apart. T-55AM has finally moved up. Is going to try to get supporting fire and keeping these Legionnaires repressed. And my recoilless rifle fired its last recoilless guns with the air mobiles, who are still alive. But I am finally trying to get the enemy pushed forward to try to push them the rest of the way out of the sector. Moving up the rest of my tanks here, T-55, moving up to Igla to take out the Hot. The Metes team is also going to be moving up as well, in case there's any vehicles that I can engage. And if I can successfully get across, I'll have a zone of control with their Metes missiles. I see a vehicle moving up there, which is taking out my Igla. Metes team is going to try to engage, but unfortunately can't quite see the vehicle. And knowing that it has a minimum range now, I wisely retreated back to position. So in case they try to do a counterattack, it would be able to hold it up. And they Teton brings in ACV. So I know that I need to, this is the priority of where to go. My artillery is going to begin doing that. I am also going to be bringing in a MiG-21 to try to take out these gazelles, because it'll be awfully bad if those gazelles take out the what few tanks I have left. One gazelle actually goes out. I'm going to give my MiG the order to try to take out the other, but he takes a bit of damage, so I'm just like, no, you got one. Let's just get out of there. So he's going to go back, especially with a Mirage that's going to be trying to come in and intercept him. I'm going to be engaging with my MiG-29 against 3 Mirages. I'm hoping that the Cubs would be able to help out. And the Mirage, the MiG-29 immediately gets taken out. Cubs and Strelas firing. Managed to actually, one Cub actually brought in to take out one of the Mirages. And the rest of the Mirages, one's damaged, the other gets out. So I do lose the mother MiG-29, but I did get at least one more air superiority fighter. My Smirch is now beginning to fire. I think I'm firing where I last saw helicopters. I'm again trying to get them, but the cluster's a little too close to the ground to hit the helicopters. And I find that out near the end of the game when I see that the cluster's going right below the helicopters and not doing any actual damage. Now that I've got pretty much as much things as I got support, I think this Machutes had routed to here. And I haven't noticed to bring that up, but I'm slowly starting to again push forward with the forest line here to get as close as possible to the enemy forces. PKM is opening up against the infantry as I am reinforcing with some Aglas and Strela 10Ms here in case any helicopters move up, and able to take out the Gazelle there. Need to get some supplies. I'm starting to run low, but I'm also managing with my supplies as well. SU-22s with their high explosive bombs, I'm going to be bombing here and here. I'm guessing where the CV could possibly be. I actually had forgotten if that the CV could indeed move, but there it is. I actually got it to shake up a bit, so I know that the CV was there, and he actually has to kind of fall back outside of the zone for fear that I might try to do a retaliation, because yes, now that I have 2 of these Gwosticas up, they're going to be artillery in this position to try to take him out. Now he's trying to bring it back in, but then he sees what is coming for him. Instantly gets stunned up by the T-55s and the BMP-1's fire. Is trying to run. They're bringing up some anti-char paras, which are some the anti-tank of the French forces. But they get immediately routed after all the firepower gets landed in and the artillery coming in. And successfully got control over the sector again, and slowly but surely I am getting complete control of the sector. He is bringing yet another plane. I was starting to bring up more AA. Cub fires its last missile as it fires its laser-guided bombs. I don't think he actually dropped. I can't actually see in this. Oh, he finally dropped his laser-guided bomb, and it managed to hit the T-55, taking it out directly. That was a good laser-guided bomb. But the T-55 gets taken out by the Air Mobile's Atlas, so now it's just the BMP-1 and the Machutsen, which are trying to hold it off. BMP-1 finally falls, the Machutsen is just engaging. But I also have the SPG-9, which is also engaged in the Air Mobiles, and together they are able to force the last of them back, as the PKM is also engaging against the Air Mobiles, and actually I think winning due to the sheer amount of firepower that it's actually able to fire against the Air Mobiles. So here's where I finally figured it out. I dropped the cluster bomb over here on the plane. Cluster lands, as you see, right on top of them, and it did no damage whatsoever. And I went, oh, cluster doesn't hit helicopters like it does in Wargame. And I'm like, that's good to know now. So now the Smirch is just going to look for land targets from now on. Wachutsin gets napalmed out, and I see he has more forces here than I thought. So, but fortunately, I didn't move up everything. I still have a secondary line of defense set up, so he can't just immediately counterattack. More artillery coming in, I guess, against the artillery that was coming up from here. So, again, just trying to soften up the his response. My PKM actually died, but took out a bunch of the air mobiles by himself. Now the Machutsen are actually starting to engage with their AK-47s and I think RPK equivalents. I'm not sure. The anti-char, the anti-tank group is now being routed. I think from the old napalm as well as firepower of everything else. My Iglas have finally got back into position, so now I've finally got my full AA safety net back up. I'm starting to get bingo on the actual supply trucks, but I'm still making it work as more supply helicopters are moving forward. As I am also going to be bringing forward some flamethrower units to try to clear this out. So, I'm ordering my AA to actually fire against the supply helicopters that are trying to land, try to keep them from resupplying the infantry there. So 2 of those helicopters are taken out. That will definitely help help limit his regrouping. I should probably use the word. So SPG-9s, PKMs, I just kind of got this kind of combination to just kind of set up as a secondary defensive line because they're longer range, and then use the actual main infantry as the primary line of defense. I have a sniper squad moving up, hoping that their exceptional stealth will be able to get in, and they are. But the sniper rifle kind of reveals the position, and he doesn't actually kill the last guy with the sniper rifle. He actually misses. But, oh well, I'm going to start engaging the infantry over here. They already know he's there, so why stop him from trying to ping off any infantry? And then I'll probably pull him back a little bit. Just try to get the recon here. MI2 is also giving the recon as well as resupplying all my troops forward. As I'm beginning to start my final push into the enemy forces. And I see with my MI2 that there's a whole bunch of stuff just coming, as well as artillery landing on where my sniper squad is. So I'm going to start moving that back. MI2, I'm just going to do 1 flyover because he's at so low health. I'm going to see if I can do it before that last AA missile comes in. It does not, so it does indeed get shot down. As I'm waiting for the forces I need to push out the force. I know it's going to be a heck of a fight. So my tanks are all repaired up. I'm going to need to redistribute them over there, as well as everything else. And yeah, we're just getting nail-bitingly close. Now, I do remember he tried to set the game for 40 minutes. But as you're going to see, it's going to go past the 40-minute mark. Something happened where it didn't quite set up to 40 minutes. So, oh well. Anyways, artillery's coming in. I was expecting all the vehicles to just kind of come here. And looking at these explosions, I was right. This would be the rally point for all those vehicles. So I'm just destroying them up with a good smirch. SU-22 is going to be bombing where he last saw some of the infantry. That gets taken out. That corner also gets taken out ahead of my flamethrower unit to try to clear out this forest line. They're going to try to get every bit of infantry that they can. I've got the SPG-9 ready to shoot at any vehicle that might show its face, as well as the T-55s, as well as another SPG. Flamethrower gets into range of the Sapir's power-up, but the flamethrowers outrange the satchel charges. He tries to move in to engage that. The flamethrowers stun them up and quickly take them apart as the SPG-9 or the T-55 takes out the vehicle that's trying to go up to engage. ERC-90s also come up, and the flamethrowers again engage their full flamethrower power against those infantry forces. Now that they're taking them out, it's just ERC-90s to try to hold them back, but again, I'm just going to clear out the infantry forces because flamethrowers are very strong, especially in the forest line, able to use those flamethrowers to range. And those Zeppos completely get annihilated. T-55 AM is leading up the fight. I am again going to be charging a cluster SU-22 over here to try to take out those ERCs, to try to help out the flamethrower group here. And now that I cleared out this corner, I'm trying to CV hunt. I'm starting to get over along here. Cluster occurs, and it looks like the ERCs were caught in the middle of that, so I did take them out successfully. Air mobile are revealed. BMP-1s are beginning to open up. Sniper squad's going to try to spot for them, moving forward, trying to engage with his Dragunov sniper rifle. And the CV is on the run, or taken out. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the CV, completely on the run. As they're trying to move forward, Sapirs and air mobiles in the counterattack try to hold off my forces. as I am just going to completely get this area locked down. AA is moving up, trying to take out these Puma pirates that are moving up. I actually forgot to unload that. Whoops. But the Iglas are firing as much as they can. The T-55 are going to try to hold off the Scepter at point-blank range, as well as the satchel charges are going to be thrown by this Batager. And looks like a laser-guided bomb came in, but he took quite a bit of damage. And I'm just trying to keep the enemy from successfully counterattacking and pushing me out. So I'm trying to get enough points. I thought the 40 minutes was going to be the time limit. But he probably, if it was, he probably would have won. So that is a little unfortunate for him that the settings weren't set properly. But I'm in it to win it, so I'm going to keep playing until the game is over. And so the pirates are engaging on the Machschützen. The Schaffhorsti are also engaging, again, hit pretty hard. So I'm trying to reinforce this area. All of my tanks that I had scattered about are now going to this sector. This is going to be the main line of contention, including the TO-55 and the T-55As. Getting up really close to the Legion. Gets taken out by the Legions pretty quickly. So that's unfortunate that I lost my tanks a little too readily there, but the others have finally got into a good position to try to hold out. Igla, out of Igla missiles, and I think I'm actually starting to get out of supply at this point. Just running forward to see, try to engage with the AK-74. Artillery's landing on them. TO-55 gets taken out. And yeah, just trying to figure out how to take out the enemy infantry. More Jaegers have been dropped off, so they're going to now get thrown into the meat grinder. See if we can dislodge these Legionnaire Paras. Machschützen are trying to keep them visual so that the T-55 can fire on them. As well as I'm also doing a flank attack on the right here to try to distract them. With enough Iglas actually taking out the pirates that have been redirected here to take care of them, as my Machschützen and Jaegers and Panzer Jaegers going to be moving forward and forcing the enemy back. I realized that I had them on attack move, so instead just do a regular move instead. But these AA are also going to be moving attack moves so they can shoot dead enemy helicopters. And I just have them moving to stay out of the where the artillery would be landing. Don't want to have them bogged down for too long. SU-22 comes in, drops a huge bomb on the majority of their forces just prior again to my engagement of my Jaeger teams. Try to take out the Legionnaires Paras, which have, as you can see, taken quite a bit of damage. Igla is also engaging with the AK-74s, as well as my other T-55N and Schattaucher. Not quite sure how to pronounce it, don't kill me. Is just giving enough crossfire and support and able to take out the rest of this infantry and prevent him from sending any more CV into this sector, so I can keep this completely solidified. Infantry are also still running around, causing mayhem in their back line. T-55 moves up, takes out the ERC-90. But the ERC-90, I knew this was going to happen, is going to engage quicker than mine. I had a Smirch come in to try to stop these guys as well, but unfortunately it managed to survive through. More ERC-90, they're trying to move up to stop this infantry, but the Panzer Jaegers are able to completely just shut that down really quickly as the Gazelle Cat is again moving forward. I'm going to try to put them into the tree line. Trying to get again my Iglis into position. Mi-24 with AAT. This one has only 4 Kokon. I think it's more of like rocket. Manages to get into position to take out the ERC, and now I'm just going to be flying over because I don't expect him to have too much air defense, and then he surrenders because he's basically spent at that point. So yeah, all of that, and I actually got a 7,000 kills, 4,000 losses against Deton. And well, we were in voice chat, we were talking back and forth, we were just having fun and trying to cut our teeth into it. So yeah, a lot of my shortcomings are just the overall trying to familiarize myself with the units again. I remember how long it took me to memorize all the units in Wargame Red Dragon just by sheer playing. But I remember that being the that's kind of returning here. But that lack of knowledge of what each unit is being offset. That it's somewhat similar to Wargame Red Dragon, and I have Wargame Red Dragon skills. The other side is that Warno is different enough that I also have to relearn some things, like I wasn't able to pop any smoke this game, for example, and properly figuring out what to put my set up my forces for. But yeah, in the kills and losses, we'll just see that overall it seems to be pretty even in the beginning salvo. SU-22 did several good bombing run passes there, and just a lot of units were able to take out quite a lot of the enemy forces. Yes, Jaeger Troop took out quite a bit, being a real hero there. It is probably the start of my right flank, the first infantry push before the second push hit through to cut off the back line. And yeah, and my Smirch was able actually to kill quite a bit. So I think while these are deployed, they're still vulnerable to Smirches, which makes sense. The equipment itself would be vulnerable to the Smirching fire if the infantry are supposed to not be affected by it. Got a few of the trucks that he moved in, as well as the Pamelas. So I think I actually got that good Smirch strike where I thought where he would put a staging area to try to push back into the sector. Then again, back to kind of normal, but the Ziegler did quite good at shooting down the supply and pirate trucks. Yeah, got quite a few. These T-55s were very cost-effective in taking out multiple units before finally going down. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that game. I did. I'm hoping to get more Warno videos out soon, so please keep your eye out for that. And this is Silverraptor signing off. I hope to see you all again in the next video.